Hi, this is Stacy with Gooseberry Bridge Farm, and today we are starting summer planting in the garden. I know I sound nervous. That's because there's thunder and we keep getting storms, and I'm like, I'm just gonna have to do it and hope we don't have a massive hailstorm. So I'll show you what's in front of me here. This is our tomato area, tomato trellises, which are covered in peas up there. I talked about this in a previous video. And then there's some smaller peas in these two rows. And as you can see, there's dirt everywhere and tomatoes set out. I had my son, who's 10, Bentley, drill the holes for me with the drill auger, which I will show you in a few minutes. And now I am planting the tomatoes. This is one that I got from a friend, so it's in a slightly different kind of pot than I have. It's pretty long, most of them are. So we dug a deep hole and I'm squishing it down in there. Okay, so we're gonna put some rabbit poop around here for extra fertilizer. This dirt looks fabulous. This looks better than, this is a new spot for tomatoes for us, and this, I don't think we've ever planted anything in this part of the garden, but this is looking really good. So we're going to just start planting. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but it just started raining again. I don't want to fool you with our rainy garden videos like the last one that hopefully I published, as I'm referring to it. But anyway, it's not raining that often here. We are not getting as much rain as we need to this time of year. But we did get some last night, and it's trying to rain today. It just keeps kind of spitting at us. And I'm going to show you that drill auger I was talking about. Okay, so this is what we're using to plant the tomatoes. This thing, I got it on Amazon. I will link the drill piece, and obviously this is just a DeWalt drill. Works really well. You can get different sizes. I will have to figure out what size that is. I think it's a 3-inch, but I also have a smaller one that's homemade, but if I lost it, I would replace it with the same size. I really like the smaller one for planting flowers out in the field. It makes a good size hole for like either a 72 cell tray or a 48 cell tray or like a 2-inch soil block. But for these bigger tomato plants, it's better to have the 3-inch thing, and you can kind of move it around and make the hole a little bigger because some of these pots are 4 inches. So yeah, I guess I'm gonna take a little break. Okay, got a little rain, now it stopped. I'm gonna try again. So this is a Black Beauty tomato, and I'm getting it ready to plant in this hole. And this is what my hand looks like, so it's making videoing a little difficult, but it got muddy and I might have to go wash that to show you. Okay, so we're getting this one ready. I'm gonna pull off the lower leaves, 1, 2, 3, and these suckers, pinch them off, one there, one here. This is a Black Beauty. Take the tag out. Let's see if I can one-handed plant this. There we are. We're gonna put it down in this hole. Ooh, I'd like it to be a little deeper, but it's not, so that's where we're at. But I wouldn't want any leaves touching the ground, so this one would have to go either way. And then as the plant gets taller, we will cut off these other leaves so that there are no leaves between here and our trellis. Almost no leaves. I'll probably allow leaves once we get to about here. So we're gonna dump a little of our rabbit poo tea stuff in here. It's really gross. Normally I'd like to use fresh rabbit poop, but apparently it rained so much last night that it's all turned into a liquid version, and it's gross, but it works. And I really probably don't need it because we fertilized all this year with fresh hay and goat poop and rabbit poop. We put it all on the rows when in the fall and early spring when we were cleaning all this out. We normally try not to overly fertilize our tomatoes, but I also put a whole bunch of eggshells in the compost compost this. I put eggshells here. We call it composting in place. So basically I dumped rabbit poop, old hay, goat poop, whatever was in with the goats, waste hay, all down these rows, and added crushed up eggshells and I don't even remember what else to the pile of hay. And it's been breaking down all winter, and now the soil looks awesome like this, and we just have to plant into it. And usually I don't fertilize at all the rest of the season for tomatoes. You hear that? I got 2 more tomatoes planted and it's raining again. So I'm just gonna keep going in the rain, but I can't really film much. Sorry about that. Not like you need to watch me plant tomatoes in the rain. I'll get all these done and then we'll talk about the other happenings in the garden. Alright, well, it keeps raining and then not raining, so I got up away from the tomatoes and I'm looking at my raised beds, and then it starts to stop raining. The weeds in these are really bad. I'm not super excited about that, but that's what happens because I reuse the dirt from somewhere else. And that's just blowing off the tree. So there's a lot of little grass weeds, but these bigger guys are my carrots. These are carrots, these are radishes, so there's a row, but then all this other stuff is little grass weed babies, and I'm not sure what this is. This is netting? Weird. These 3 beds all match. I'm still working on filling the new beds, but here they are. We're filling them with fill dirt from a driveway project on our property. It's got quite a lot of rock. We also put some hay and wood ash and pieces of wood and all sorts of stuff. We're still only about halfway done filling those. And then we're going to plant, for the summer, peppers. I'm going to pull more rocks out of that. Peppers, and because we have a lot of extra peppers. And cover crops in there, which the cover crop for the summer is going to be sunflowers. The big roots go down in, break up the soil, add organic matter, and we'll just chop them down when they're done. Probably dry some of the flowers, or to keep the seeds or something. And then in the fall, we'll plant a fall overwintering cover crop on them, just to continue to improve the soil and to keep weeds out and whatnot. And then we'll see in the spring. I will plan to figure out what the soil's like. If it's good enough after that to plant something else in, I'll try something else. If it's not, I will continue to plant peppers and sunflowers in them and then fall cover crops and back and forth until it gets better. We might add some more compost or something at some point, but I would rather keep the purchased input to the minimums. Okay, so we're 4 tomatoes in. I'm gonna keep going down this row. So as you can see, these tomatoes are interplanted with onions. These are a white and yellow sweet onions. On the ends, we've got some red onions. The next row has onions at the end, but then peas, because you can't grow peas and onions together. Who knew, right? If you look up companion planting, that's one of the big no-nos, is onions or beans or peas should not be planted with onions. So we got some onions in the middle there, but kept the peas on their own rows and spaced out. But peas and tomatoes do fine together, so we're doing that. And then when the onions are done and the peas are done, actually probably in these 2 middle rows, because there's a lot of space between the peas, they didn't germinate well, I'm going to put basil down these 2 middle rows. And then if we still have basil left, which I'm hoping we will, it depends on how long the peas last before they start to die from the heat. When the peas are on their way out, we will add basil and cut the peas down. So we're trying some new things, and normally other years, if you've watched our past videos, we just had a hole burned in the fabric for the tomatoes, but I'm trying to utilize the space better by interplanting with other things, especially the onions that can help keep pests away So we'll see how this does. All right, well, maybe it's good I didn't get finished because this darkness, this dark cloud looks less dramatic on the video than it is in person. I got about 2.5 rows done, and we are rushing over to put the sale plants away so they don't get destroyed, because this storm is coming right for us, and it has 50-mile-an-hour winds and penny-sized hail, which is not bad as far as storms go, but is not very good as far as seedlings go. After I go take a video of this, we need to go pull Sherelle's plants. Okay. Sorry, video. Yeah, I was going to just film some of this lovely water. We like rain. Rain is good. There's our cow and donkey standing out in it because they're super bright. This is a lot of rain, and it's still raining. It just let up for a minute, so we're gonna go get a plant order because she's going to pick up. Ooh, slippery. A bit of lightning. There's a little river running over there. This isn't usually a creek. We're out by the greenhouse. I need to get those sunflowers in, Annie.
This is very deep.
This is a lot of water. I'll be interested to see how much rain that was. Yeah, this doesn't usually happen. The greenhouse is a touch flooded. This is the old big greenhouse, not the new one. So what, can you unplug that fan real quick and get on top of the pallet? It's not in the water, so it's not on. And that is a outlet that will not stay on if it's wet. So, all right, so you need to turn off this other fan too. Turn off the electronics in here. Well, we're gonna take this order over so it can get picked up. Annie's got half, I've got half. Woo, can't film and carry crates at the same time. I'm gonna check in real quick and see if the new big greenhouse is also flooding. It is not. Excellent. A little bit. There's a little bit of rain there, but this looks pretty good. It's actually dry back there in the back. Okay, back to the garden. Here, but there's quite a lot of water. This is a low spot here with the strawberries, but it's not bad overall. The first year that we had this garden, before we did a lot of work on the soil, which I know some of you will think, oh, it has weed fabric, it doesn't matter. I don't know. People give me all sorts of crap about the weed fabric, but it, the first year we had this garden, it rained a lot one week in April, and there was standing water over my boots pretty much through the whole garden. It doesn't do that anymore. So it is, you can see where it's running here. This is interesting. But there's kind of a bit of a river coming from the greenhouse where we just were, down through this yard, across the garlic, and down. And before you, I don't know why I'm so worried about judgment here, but people tend to get on to me about the weed fabric and it's stopping water from soaking in. But this is kind of extreme, and that's a creek right there. So this sort of thing happens when you live someplace like that. So I bet in about 10 or 15 minutes we'll be able to hear the rushing river over there from the flash flooding that usually follows rain like that. I'm just checking on the tomatoes I planted. I didn't get most of these 2 rows done because I really want to trellis the rest of the peas like this with the netting scraps before I plant the tomatoes. So I did these 2. I did the whole first row and the whole row here and that row back there. And they all look fine. We didn't get any hail. It was just heavy rain, but that hole is pretty deep to be completely filled with water. But then this one is not. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. Maybe there's like a rock in the bottom of that hole or something. And there's some standing water in some of the onions, but and some leaves from the tree up there. Anyway, I think we got everything picked up right before this started. Well, everything See, that one's a little blown over. Might need to stand him up. So we were completely rained out yesterday and on planting tomatoes. And part of today it's actually almost 6 o'clock at night. So I'm going to show you what we're doing now. I'm hoping to get this whole area done because the hole's already dug. All I had to do was put up this trellis netting that is primarily for the peas, but I really think it's going to benefit the tomatoes as well in these early stages. Is there a bird behind me? Yeah. All right. Hi, Bentley. Say hi, Bentley.
Hi, Bentley.
Hi. Bentley's drilling holes for me for our San Marzanos, and Teddy's helping pull the dirt out. We've got a spot here. Don't mind the toilet and bathtub. That's another project, but this is, over there is where we were planting our slicers. Cherries are back behind these tubs, and then this is our row of sauce tomatoes. We plant all San Marzanos. We're gonna put 12, 6 on each trellis. Show them the drill auger, Bentley. Yep, he really likes using the drill, don't you?
Power tools.
Yeah.
Power tools.
And we had never cleaned off these trellises from the fall, so this is the remnants of last year's San Marzanos. Oops. Not best practice, but we'll deal with it. The grass is growing like crazy since our 3 inches of rain. Like this is crazy town here. We're going to expand the weed fabric all down here. Ooh, beans. Okay, I got way too excited there. Look. I mean, they're right in the middle. It's not the best place for them, but this is our bean trellis we built out of trees we cut down from the edge of the garden. They were sycamores. I think it's 3 years old. It's starting to get a little wobbly, and I had a lot of trouble getting beans to germinate in here last year because of the slugs, because we've been building up the soil with we layer cardboard, and whenever we have chicks in the house in the winter, we dump the brooder out here, the wood shavings and whatnot. So we were going to grow other stuff on this, but anyway, and we used to have an outdoor bathroom here with the tub and the toilet. The toilet was decorative, and a sink, but we took that out. But this was the fence that was around it, and I wanted to use that as a trellis for cucumbers or something, but I'm not sure I'm going to make it this year because I've yet to tame this, and I mowed it 2 or 3 times, and it is still just like the grass is growing like crazy over here, and I don't know why. But we used to have a garden fence here and then grass. So I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do. I want to put some like of that netting we were just using on the tomatoes up across this so that the cucumbers and whatever can grow over here. I might end up just doing like squash and pumpkins and stuff that doesn't need as much attention. The other thing that still needs to happen out here, so it's a never-ending project, we added this fence just this winter around our rabbits so that we could put other animals in here. We have silkies that get let out in this area, and we've been putting our bottle babies in here to eat down the grass. We had to bring some adult goats for a while because it got so overgrown, but it's under control now. So looking at this from the other way, these T-posts are here so that we can extend the garden fence out and then put a gate here to get out. But that way critters wouldn't be able to get into the garden. So I guess I should show you too, the reason we need a gate back here in the back is because this is the stairs to our, and it looks very secret garden-y in the summer. It grows over real quick, but this is all very easy to see in the winter. But there's steps right there, and it goes to this root cellar, which we can't use because it doesn't maintain proper root cellar temperatures. But one day it does have electricity, and I want to turn it into a brooder house, but we're gonna have to cut back quite a lot of trees to do that. We also left this walkway behind the fence, and looks like I need to take the weed eater down that, or it's not actually a walkway. But I have hostas in there and stinging nettle planted along that fence line. All right, I was just showing you this, so I'll show it again. I was walking down here to my potential cucumber, whatever area. I took the grass down. Doesn't it look better now? all self-mulched. And I moved, this weed fabric was here. There's actually a big dead spot here. You can't tell because grass clippings everywhere. And I put the fabric, this is an old kind of crappy fabric. It doesn't burn like the stuff I use now, so you can't burn holes in it. You have to cut them. I don't really like it, but it was over here for 3 years, so it handled being under gravel, which is what we had here. We had rocks. But I noticed it killed the grass over here, so I just threw it over there to try to keep the weeds down in this little bed area that we are going to plant into. And I weeded it around the bean trellis. The sheep that live in our backyard are loving it. And big news, tomato planting is done. Like actually done. So all of our San Marzanos are in. The weed eating kind of made a mess of our fabric, but I'll just let that dry out and then sweep it off, or it's supposed to rain again tonight. Maybe we'll get lucky and it will all wash away. Then we need to put in more weed fabric, probably soon, tomorrow-ish. We'll see. Okay, so Dirty Hand, me and Annie are done for tonight, so yay!